Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. It's that time again. It's time for new book releases. So I have a list of new releases coming out in the month of April. Lots of good mystery thrillers happening. I didn't find too many male romances. There's a few in there. I'm sure I'm probably missing some. So of course, with anything, whatever genre, let me know in the comments down below what I'm missing out on. But I have a good list for us here, so let's get started. At the beginning of the month, April 1st, we have a book coming out. This is I'll Stop the World, and this is by Lauren Tomlin and Mindy Kaling. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, so I apologize. But this one sounded really intriguing to me because we kind of have a back to the past kind of thing happening. Is timelines, but where we have one of our characters that is going back to 1980, hold on, is it 86, 85, 86? 85, 1985. Justin Warren is our, I'm guessing it's going to be our main character. His grandparents died a very mysterious death and the crime was never solved. I'm not sure how Justin gets back to 1985, but it looks like it's going to be where he's going to be traveling back. And this is way before he was born as well. So he's going to be teaming up with someone in 1985 and they're going to solve the crime of his grandparents. His grandparents were still alive at that time, but they were killed before Justin was born. So I'm not sure the events in between, but he's out to find out what happened to them. It says the end and the beginning become one in a heart-pounding coming-of-age mystery about the power of friendship, fate, and inexplicable second chances. It also has some trigger warnings at the bottom. It says contains depictions of emotional abuse, alcoholism, and excessive drinking, underage drinking, smoking, racism, discussions of homophobia, and violent bullying. So just some trigger warnings there for this book, but I just like the whole premise of going back in time, teaming up with somebody from 1985 to solve the crime of his grandparents. It just sounded really intriguing to me. So April 1st. I actually have this next book that I'm going to talk about. This is The Soulmate by Sally Hepworth. This comes out on April 4th. This was a book of the month early release. I've never read anything by this author. I mainly picked it because it was the mystery thriller pick for book of the month. I don't know, it's got a beautiful cover. Don't know what it's about. It says prepare yourself for a thrilling, addictive novel about marriage, betrayal, and the secrets that push us to the edge in this latest book from the best-selling author of The Good Sister and The Younger Wife. I've never read any of those books. Let me know in the comment if you've read anything by this author. It says picture a lovely cottage on a cliff with sloping lawns, walking paths, and beautiful flowers. It's Gabe and Pippa Wright's dream home in a sleepy coastal town, but their perfect house hides something sinister. The tall cliffs have become a popular spot for people to end their lives. Over the past several months, Gabe comes to their rescue, literally talking them off the ledge, until one day he doesn't. I'm not going to read anymore. It's a very short synopsis, so, but yeah. This was my mystery thriller pick of the month for March, but it comes out on April 4th. This next book also had a very intriguing plot line. This is Blind Spots, and this is by Thomas Mullen. Also, never read anything by this author. Love the cover. So this, I believe, has to deal with, I want to say it's like a pandemic, but blindness takes over the world. People go blind. It says a riveting crime novel. Words, Aimee, words. A riveting crime novel with a spectacular edge about the ways our perceptions of reality can be manipulated. 7 years ago, everyone in the world went blind in a matter of months. Technology helped people adjust to the new normal, creating a device that approximates vision, downloading visual data directly to people's brains. But what happens when someone finds a way to hack it and change what people see? What? So we have a science fiction thriller. It also says it's delivers an unputdownable crime novel about one man's search for truth in a world of surveillance and disinformation that's all too recognizable. Just sounds like a really good time. I don't know. April 4th. Also on April 4th, we have a YA mystery thriller. This is Tell Me What Really Happened by Chelsea Sidoti. It says, told entirely through first-person police interviews, this riveting mystery asks what really happened that night. It says, these are stories about the woods around Salvation Creek, about the people who have gone missing. What really intrigued me about this book, I mean, for some reason I'm like drawn to YA thrillers, but anyway, it's the fact that this is read through police interviews, and that really like kind of intrigues me. I love like reading a book like with as a letter or transcripts or whatever. So it really like pulled me in from that. A riveting, fast-paced YA mystery told entirely through first-person police interviews of 4 teens over the course of a few hours. It was all her idea. They would get away from their parents and spend the weekend camping. Down by Salvation Creek, the 5 of them would make s'mores, steal kisses, share secrets. But sometime around midnight, she vanished. Who vanished? Do we know who vanished? Now the 4 friends who came back are under suspicion, and they each have a very different story to tell about what happened in the woods. So yeah, just very intriguing. Like I said, a story being told through police interviews about these 4 kids that went to this park where apparently things happen. Apparently they've all seen different things. I don't know, it sounds like a good time. April 4th. All right, moving on to April 5th, we have You Must Remember This, and this is by Kat Rosenfield. Oh my gosh, I am butchering these authors' names. Kat Rosenfield. This one says it's a Knives Out style whodunit with a twist of Taylor Jenkins Reid. You must remember this as an immense gothic mystery with a long ago love affair, icy death, and a rich family gone bad. Looks like this takes place on a Christmas Eve. It says 85-year-old Miriam Gardner walks into the vast frozen river behind her home. As a younger woman, she used to steal out on winter nights to meet her lover, walking straight across the ice to their secret meeting place. I thought somebody was coming in my room. She knows the way, but not the year. Miriam, her mind clouded by dementia, doesn't hear the snap of thin ice until it's too late. Was it an accident, suicide, or worse? It just got really bright outside. We're having like a cloudy but sunny day. Like it gets randomly sunny, but it's mostly a cloudy day. We're supposed to have lots of rain today, but it never really happened. I don't know. Anyway, okay, on April 11th, we have The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. Now, me and Megan Miranda have not really done well in the past, but I wanted to mention this book because her covers always get me, y'all. I had said probably about 2 years ago I wasn't going to read anything else by her because I have 3 books that I just did not like, but she always gets me with these covers. I love this. This is creepy and beautiful at the same time. Just because I might not be interested in this book doesn't mean that maybe you won't. So on April 11th, we get The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. It says a mystery about a group of former classmates who reunite to mark the 10th anniversary of a tragic accident, only to have one of the survivors disappear, casting fear and suspicion on the original tragedy. I don't want to read too much. It's a pretty long synopsis. Probably will give something away. But anyway, yes, so we have some classmates. Something happened. Tragic accident when they were in school together. Some made it, some didn't. The ones that survived have a little group together. But whatever happened has changed their lives. It sounds really, really good. Let me know in the comments if you're going to check it out. Okay, this is another one coming out on April 11th. This is Everything She Feared. I think this might also be a YA thriller. I'm not positive though. But the first line got me of the synopsis. It says, when a teen falls off a cliff while taking a selfie, The last thing she sees before plummeting to her death is Katie Harmon, the 9-year-old girl who she was babysitting, looking down at her. Like, creepy? Says investigators gather at the scene and Katie's mother, Sarah, rushes to comfort her daughter. Yet there's a small secret ping of alarm in Sarah's heart that she cannot share. Though rookie detective Kim Pierce senses it, so might be following a detective in this book as well. For years, others have tried to unravel the secret, from true crime podcasters to a haunted journalist searching for a killer who vanished after being released from prison. And now, with detectives tightening the focus of their investigation, Sarah is consumed by her darkest fear, that the babysitter's death was not accidental. Was it her daughter? Is this creepy 9-year-old killing her babysitters? What's happening? I don't know. April 11th. On April 13th, we get For You and Only You. This is the 4th book in the You series. So we are getting more of our beloved Jo, and I'm ecstatic about it. I wasn't that crazy about the 3rd book. Still loved me some Jo. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Carolyn Kepnes has for us in this 4th book. So let's see, we are following Jo to the hallowed halls of Harvard University, where he earns a coveted place in a writing fellowship and leaves Crimson in his wake. Of course he does. Jo is ready for a change. Instead of selling books, he's writing them. And he's off to a good start. Glenn Shoddy, an acclaimed literary author, recognizes Jo's genius and invites him to join a tight-knit writing fellowship at Harvard. Finally, Jo will be in a place where talent matters more than pedigree, where intellect is the great equalizer and anything is possible, even happy endings, or so he thinks, until he meets his already distinguished peers, who all seem to be cut from the same privileged cloth. Thankfully, Wanda enters the picture. They have so much in common. No college degrees, no pretensions, no stories from prep school or grad school, just a love for literature. If only Wanda could commit herself to the writing life, they could be those literary soulmates who never fall prey to their demons. There is so much they're up against, but Jo has faith in Wanda. He will sacrifice his art for hers. And if he has to, he will kill her darlings for her. It says, a little crimson runs in the streets of Cambridge. Who can blame him? Love doesn't conquer all. Often it needs a little push. So we have Jo, who is probably going to fall infatuated, obsessed love with this Wanda character, and do what he has to do to make her happy, as Jo always does. I'm ecstatic. I can't wait. Moving on to April 18th, we have looks like a type of male type of romance, YA. This is If I See You Again Tomorrow by Robbie Couch. I have a book up here, yes, Blame for the Win, also by Robbie Couch. I have not read it yet, and I haven't read any of this author's books, but I'm intrigued with his books so far. This is the 2nd one. He's also written The Sky Blues, but I haven't read that one either. But anyway, this one sounded intriguing to me because it also deals with time travel. It says this is a speculative young adult romance about a teen stuck in a time loop that's endlessly monotonous until he meets the boy of his dreams. For some reason, Clark has woken up and relived the same monotonous Monday 309 times. Okay, so not technically time travel, but we're dealing with someone who's living the same day over and over and over again, until day 310 turns out to be different. Suddenly, his usual torturous math class is interrupted by an anomaly, a boy he's never seen before in all his previous Mondays. When shy, reserved Clark decides to throw caution to the wind and join Bo on a series of errands across the Windy City, he never imagines that anything will really change, because nothing has in such a long time. And he definitely doesn't expect to fall this hard or this fast for someone in just one day. There's just one problem. How do you build a future with someone if you can never get to tomorrow? Like, I don't know, like what? That just sounds so much fun. I don't know. I still have not read this series. This is Foolish Pup Boy, and this is the 4th book in the Pup Boy series by Eden Finley and Saxon James. Like, what am I waiting for? I think I might have the first book in my jar of male romances I want to read. Hopefully, maybe, I don't remember. If not, it needs to happen. So in this one, I'm sure we follow, I'm guessing we follow like a team, like a hockey team, I'm guessing. And maybe each book we have a story from each character, but it looks like our story here is Alex and Gabe's story. Alex says, after my divorce, I'm ready to have fun, date around, and not get into anything too serious. Then I meet Gabe Crosby, superhero firefighter and a disgrace to the Crosby name. He doesn't even like hockey. Yet, there's a draw to him I can't deny, something I haven't felt since my teens. But that's the problem. I have no idea what dating is like, let alone how to do it with another man. So we might be having like a first time with a man situation here, which I absolutely love. And then we have Gabe, who says, when I meet Alexander Emerson during an emergency call out, there are 3 things that catch my attention: his sexy tattoos, his kind eyes, and his drunken offer to have my babies. He's new to Seattle and recently divorced, so I take him under my wing and under my sheets. I'm showing him what the world of hookups is like, only those hookups turn into sleepovers and dates and public displays of jealousy. I don't know, it sounds really cute. I really need to get into the whole series, start out with book 1 and see what these guys are all about. But yes, the 4th book is coming out on April 18th. Moving on to April 25th, we have a couple new releases. This one just caught my eye because of cover. You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. Once again, never read anything by this author. It says, You Shouldn't Have Come Here is a thrill ride and a cautionary tale of what can go wrong when you open up your house and your heart to a total stranger. Grace Evans, an overworked New Yorker looking for a total escape from her busy life, books an Airbnb on a ranch in the middle of Wyoming. When she arrives, she's pleasantly surprised to find out the owner is a handsome man by the name of Calvin Wales. But there are things Grace discovers that she's not too pleased about: a lack of cell phone service, a missing woman, and a feeling that something isn't right with the town. Despite her uneasiness and misgivings from Calvin's friends and family, the two grow close and start to fall for one another. Looks like we might have a little bit of an obsession story here, with Calvin being an obsessor. That's kind of the vibes the rest of the synopsis is giving me. And it says it is told from dual points of view, so I'm sure we get Grace and Calvin's point of view. So it just sounds really good. We'll check it out. Also on April 25th, we are getting another book from Taylor Adams. This is The Last Word. I still haven't read Hairpin Bridge. I haven't heard that many good things about it. That's why I haven't really picked it up, but it's gonna get read. After posting a negative book review, a woman living in a remote location begins to wonder if the author is a little touchy or very, very dangerous. As Emma digs into Kane's life and work, she learns he has published 16 other novels, all similarly sadistic tales of stalking and murder. But who is he? And what else is he capable of? Sounds like a good time to me. Also on April 25th, this is a YA thriller / horror. This is This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham. Once again, never read anything by this author, but the cover, I loved it. I loved it. And this is also a little bit of science fiction, I guess. It says 4 best friends, 1 music festival, and a cooler filled with human organs. This summer is about to get gory. 3 years ago, the melting of Arctic permafrost released a pathogen of unknown origin into the atmosphere. Oh, okay. Causing a small percentage of people to undergo a transformation that became known as the hollowing. Those impacted slowly became intolerant to normal food and were only able to gain sustenance by consuming the flesh of other human beings. Could this be like a zombie tale? Those who went without flesh quickly became feral, turning on their friends and family. However, scientists were able to create a synthetic version of human meat that would satisfy the hunger of those impacted by the hollowing. As a result, humanity slowly began to return to normal, albeit with lasting fear and distrust for the people they've dubbed ghouls. Crazy. It just sounded like just, I don't know, crazy town. I don't know. YA thriller horror. I haven't really read anything like this, so the cover was so colorful and I don't know, I just wrote it down. We might give it a go. We'll see. Okay, this is another series that I need to get into, and I know for a fact that I have the first book in my jar of male romances. This is the 8th book. This is Zane from the Confessions series by Ella Frank. I have been eyeing this series for a very long time. Why I haven't started it, I don't know, but the 8th book is coming out on April 25th. This is the cover we have for now. I don't know if this is the real cover. Usually their covers, or her covers for this series, has like a guy, you know, who our Zane's gonna be, but this is what we got for right now. We may have a cover reveal, you know, sometime in April before it's released. This one really doesn't have a synopsis either. It says, Zane is the continuation of Chloe, Ethan, and Zane's story and should only be read after Confessions, Ethan. So this is a menage. So yeah, I think Ethan recently came out. I don't know, and I don't know why I didn't write it down to let y'all know when it came out, but I remember seeing it. But anyway, I really need to get to this series. But yeah, we have the 8th book in this Confession series coming out on April 25th. And lastly, on April 30th, we have, this is a male romance. This is Home Then by A.E. Jensen. I don't think I've ever read anything by this author. I don't think. The name sounds familiar. I'm sure I've seen it. I just don't think I've read anything. But this one sounded really good. It sounded like it's going to be sort of an emotional type of read. It does give some trigger warnings. It says male romance with mature content and adult themes. Possible triggering contents include one MC suffers from anxiety and PTSD. One MC experiences homophobic behavior from his parents. There is mentioning of the loss of a parent to cancer in early childhood. War and death are depicted in nightmares. Death and suicide of side character outside main plot. So those are the warnings that it gives in the synopsis. But it looks like we're following the story of Colton and Henry. It says after, and this is Colton, after being in the Army for more than 20 years, Colton returns to his hometown in Nebraska. His estranged uncle has offered him a job at his auto shop. With nothing to his name, he hopes to start over and build some sort of life, preferably a quiet life where he doesn't have to deal with the rest of the world. And everything is going pretty well, except for the fact that he keeps running into the local vet, Henry. With his charm and boyish good looks, he stirs feelings inside Colton, which he hasn't allowed himself to feel in a long time. But what does a middle-aged ex-soldier with a bad case of PTSD have to offer a hot young doctor with a college degree and the whole world at his feet? Yeah, so it sounds like this might be a little bit of an emotional read, but I'm all about a good emotional male romance. Love it. Alright, y'all, that's it. That's all I got for the month of April. As always, I know I'm missing something, so let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to in the month of April. New books that are coming out, let me know. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you're all doing well out there. Hugs from me all around, and I'll see y'all very soon in a new video. Bye, y'all.